players to own for FPL Gameweek 11. Well, I've pitted the latest 4 game weeks of form information with the next 4 game weeks of fixtures to help to target the best players. Help me get this one to 500 likes and subscribe to the channel. Let's get into it. Starting off with the form charts then, and the range here is quite significant. There's a real mixed bag across the league in terms of form right now, and we do see Spurs back on top after that 4-1 win against Aston Villa, and it's their home games which are most key. That's 2 4-1 results they've got at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium in the last 4 game weeks, and you know who they're facing next. We also see Brentford still in the top 3, but they do dip, having lost to Fulham on the Monday Night Football. They were 1-0 up in that game, so I guess their late demise has changed things in terms of this table, but they still look like a team based on current form that are worth investing in, at least from an attacking perspective, because clean sheets have deserted them so far this season. And the other surprise package in here is Nottingham Forest. Now, they were consistent at the start of the season, but they've become a bit more explosive in recent games. It's really encouraging to see them score goals. Certainly that 3-0 to West Ham is significant here, because they tend to be a team that have a 1-0 win, a 1-0 draw, a 2-1, but they're not consistently scoring a lot of goals per game. But that has changed now, so it does make you think that investing in that Nottingham Forest attack is definitely the way to go. And, you know, given the defensive consistency as well, you can consider them as well. Now, the purpose of these charts is really to pinpoint those attacking players, or at least attacking defenders inside, because we've taken the Fantasy Football Hub fixture ticker for the next 4 game weeks, filtered by attack and their fixture values, to produce the fixture chart for you for game week 11. You can get the fully customizable fixture ticker with a 7-day free trial right now using the link in the description to this video. But if we look at this chart, a team that we need to speak about again is Brentford, 3rd in each chart. You look at their upcoming fixtures: Bournemouth at home in game week 11 and Leicester at home in game week 13. They're significant because their form has been a lot more prevalent at home than it has on the road. Everton away in game week 12 is not a bad fixture in itself either, though, so we've got to bear that in mind. It's a shame that the teams at the top don't really feel that investable in at the moment. The likes of Leicester City and Everton, 2 home games in 4 doesn't really feel like enough of a fixture swing here. West Ham away, Manchester United away in the next game weeks, probably not teams that we're really looking to invest in right now, if I'm honest. But let's have a look what's happening at the bottom of the table, because Nottingham Forest, having been 2nd in the form chart, bottom of the fixture chart, which does dent the appeal a little bit. We do see as well within this, there's a lot less variance in the fixture charts than there is in the form charts right now, but Liverpool and Chelsea are down there as well. Let's have a look at the combined chart then, and really interesting, there's not a significant change from last week. We do see a joint 3rd between Manchester City and Nottingham Forest. So Manchester City, even though it feels like their form's dipped and Haaland's form has definitely dipped, they're still doing it okay in terms of the overall balance of form and fixtures. So that's just a warning for anyone looking to move away from City assets. You could well be punished, especially when we look at the upcoming fixtures and bearing in mind that Kevin De Bruyne is back fit as well. Now, because we've seen a lot of variance in form but not in fixtures, the being bottom of the fixture ticker hasn't hindered Nottingham Forest here to take 3rd place, level with Manchester City, and that just goes to show why their assets are so good to invest in right now. We also see Spurs in 2nd place overall, ahead of a home game against Ipswich. We really need to be invested in that attack, at least for this game. So if you were on the fence thinking after the Ipswich game the Spurs fixtures turn, I think there's enough in there to make you think you probably need to own one of their attackers this week. But in top spot, despite that loss last weekend, it's Brentford with the balance of the form and the fixtures, and certainly, as I mentioned, targeting those next 2 home games is significant. Last week on this video I talked about doubling up on Brentford attackers, and while it didn't pay off against Fulham, there's certainly potential for it to pay off fairly soon. So let's have a look at the best players to target now. Let's start off at Nottingham Forest then. And Chris Wood, he avoided big transfers in last week because he was flagged with injury. He's absolutely fine. He's still 20% owned in the game, which is gathering momentum, but considering his output this season, 8 goals in 10, including 5 in the last 4 game weeks, you would expect his ownership to be higher. So if you are shopping in that budget forward category and on the fence of who is the best one to own, it is Chris Wood. And you look, yes, there's some difficult fixtures coming up for Nottingham Forest, but in the next 3 game weeks, they have 2 more home games. Newcastle at home in game week 11, Ipswich at home in game week 13, sandwiching a trip to Arsenal in game week 12. That's absolutely fine in my eyes. For captaincy, you could even consider Chris Wood in both of those home games. You need to get him in. We look at his underlying numbers, and again, I feel like there's a compelling case to get Chris Wood. He's had 11 big chances on goal this season, third to just Haaland and Watkins. Now, if we have a look at the team in second place now, Spurs. If I was shopping for a Spurs player this week, again, I feel like Dominic Solanke is the one. He's 7th for big chances on goal this season with 10, but bear in mind that he's only played 8 games. When we filter this per 90 and hide players that don't play significant minutes, he's in 4th place behind Watkins, Haaland and Johan Visser. So that just goes to show how attacking Solanke is. He is going to get opportunities to score goals, and we saw that all click together last weekend. You look at the defence he's playing this weekend, Ipswich at home. Ipswich have conceded more big chances on their goal than any other side in the Premier League this season, and I think it's 23 in the last 4 game weeks. That is 8 more than any other club. Spurs are going to have an absolute field day in this fixture. You need to have a Spurs attacker in this game. You just look at his underlying numbers against Aston Villa. 5 shots, 3 on target, 2 big chances. He was top for XG in game week 10 as well, with the biggest score of the game week. But if we turn our attention to the side in first place, Bryan Mbeumo is a genuine captain pick. For probably the next 3 game weeks, Bournemouth at home, Everton away, Leicester at home. You look at Brentford's results at home this season, a 2-1 win against Crystal Palace in game week 1, he scored. A 3-1 win to Southampton in game week 3, he got a brace. West Ham in game week 6 was a 1-1 draw and he scored. 5-3 to Wolves in game week 7, he scored. 4-3 to Ipswich in game week 9, he scored a brace. He is quite highly owned now, 40%, and that's why last week I talked about buying Johan Visser as well, who I think is again a very good pick. He's produced 4 goals and 2 assists from 6 starts this season. You look at Brentford's form and their fixtures, certainly for the next 3 game weeks, there's definitely an argument to doubling up by having Mbeumo and Visser, but I would buy Chris Wood first before buying Visser. That's important to say. But yeah, I really love the fixtures for Brentford. They've got that balance there as well, and Visser is a big differential in the game. When you look at the top teams and the journey, the travel times with Europa League and Champions League in the midweek, it makes investing in Brentford that little bit more appealing. If you've enjoyed this video, give it a like, subscribe to the channel as well. We're aiming for 500 likes on this one, and make sure that you hit the notify button. Tomorrow I'll have the experts team, and then on Friday at 1 o'clock I'll be live for the press conferences after a busy midweek of European action. So I'm sure we'll want some updates from that. Thank you for watching.